I know, I was like, because usually I go to my parents after work and I like write down a whole bunch of stuff. And like, my dad's like, I'm like taking a nap. He's like, you're not writing down a whole bunch of stuff. Like normal. You can't see you.
That's not gonna work, is it? Oh, we only got like a second. Okay, so yeah, just a second here, and then we're good.
Is audio engineer the same as producer?
Sort of. We can talk about it. Okay, about 15 seconds, and I'm just so that I can share this video.
Hey, peeps, it's your girl. Yes, it's me, the one, the only, K-Cee Deeva. That's K-C-E-E-D-E-E-V-A. And it's Wednesday, and you know what time it is. It's 6 p.m., and that means it's time for Northwest Connection. So thank you for tuning in and joining me today. I am very excited about my guest. Now, I always say that. I always say I'm excited about my guest. I have a great guest on, and so on. But today is a different kind of being excited about my guest, because this person is near and dear to my heart. He's with me every Wednesday, faithfully, sometimes grumpy. After a long day.
Usually grumpy.
I try to bring him caffeine when I have time, but the one, the only, my friend, my producer, James Street, is going to be my guest on today's show, and I'm very excited to talk to him, because a lot of you probably don't know, James is much more than just a producer. He's got a long laundry list of things that he does. So we're going to talk about that in just a moment. But as usual, of course, at first, we have to talk some celeb gossip and news. So check this out, James.
Oh, just
that nails on a chalkboard for a producer. Sorry about that. Drop my phone. Okay, so according to several news sources online, Daily Mail and a whole bunch else, trending right now, rumor has it that Michael B. Jordan, now for those of you who've been under a rock for the last, 8 months or so, Michael B. Jordan starred in Black Panther. Right, one of the co-star, I guess. He was the main star, but he was
wasn't he the bad guy?
He was the bad guy. His name's escaping me now. It'll come to me. Anyway, he was in, and he also played Creed. He played in Apollo Creed. He played Apollo Creed's son in the movie Creed as well. But it's rumored that he might be playing Superman.
That'd be cool.
Superman, the first black Superman. Do you think the world's ready for that, James? I don't know.
You know, they weren't. They weren't when the joke about Donald Glover playing Spider-Man was going around.
Right, and then there was also the rumor a few months ago about Idris Elba possibly playing James Bond, and he squashed that, so that's not true.
You want to hear the best one that I've heard was recently a thing came out, and again, I'm a huge Donald Glover fan, so this is awesome to me, but they want to do an anthology story about Willy Wonka, and Donald Glover is like one of the 2 finalists of actors who could potentially play young Willy Wonka, and that's awesome. He'd be the best.
What?
Yeah.
Wow, I hadn't heard that. You know, I gotta think on that one. The last Willy Wonka I saw, it was one of my favorite actors, Dreamboat, Johnny Depp, and I thought he did a Fabulous job. Very quirky. Very, but you know, what's his name? There was Scissorhands. Remember he produced it. Tim Burton.
Yeah.
You know, Tim Burton's known for his kind of weird style.
I was much more of a fan of the Gene Wilder one, and I love Johnny Depp. I love Tim Burton. The classic Charlie and the Chocolate Factory is forever better than the Tim Burton one. Nothing against it; it's still a good movie.
Yeah,
there's too much Tim Burton there.
There's a lot of Tim Burton.
and it takes away from the wonder of it and makes it too dark. And you know I'm into the dark and creepy stuff, but I grew up on the Gene Wilder one, so it was
okay. Yeah, I don't know. I just love Johnny Depp in whatever he does. So I thought he did a good job. It was a different take. But Donald Glover. That's interesting. I gotta think about that one, James. I don't know. But anyway, back to Michael B. Jordan, Superman. I don't know. Supposedly the rumor is that Henry Cavill, who plays the current Superman, who also replaced there was Dean Cain. He was an okay Superman in the series, I guess. And then before that, there was Christopher Reeves, who I just loved and adored. Rest in peace. I thought he was by far the best Superman, but Henry Cavill, he was a close runner-up to Christopher Reeves. He actually looked a lot like him, too. Very handsome, very, very Supermanish. So I don't know. I like Michael B. Jordan somewhat, but I don't know if I see him as a Superman. So we'll have to see. I don't even know if we're ready for the first Black Superman. It'd be interesting to find out. Maybe I'll do a poll on my Facebook or something. All right. I'm going to quit bantering and jump right in to my guest. Now, if you're just tuning in, this, of course, is Northwest Connection. I'm K-Cee Deeva. And my special guest today is my producer, James Street. Now, James Street is, as I mentioned a little bit earlier, if you're listening, much more than a producer. He's a photographer. He's a fire twirler. He is an audio engineer. He's a teacher.
Twirler.
Is that what it's called? Fire spinner twirler.
Fire dancing. I think it is kind of the preferred one, but twirling works.
I'm just going over what I saw. I don't know. It was very interesting, whatever it was. And rap artists. We're going to hear some debut music, right? New music?
Yeah, from me and a good friend of mine.
Right on. I feel so privileged that you chose my show to debut it on, James. Thank you. All right, I'm just going to dive right in. So, let's just start from the beginning. Did you grow up here? Are you born and raised in Seattle, right?
I did. Swedish Hospital, Seattle. Lived in the same house growing all the way up through my childhood in Edmonds, kind of right on the border to Shoreline to King County. So, yeah.
Okay. What high school?
I went to Edmonds Woodway High School and then did like a year running start and finished out my last year actually online because it gave me more time to record with my band and stuff.
Wait, hold. Put on the brakes. Okay, now I know I have quite a few years of you. You got to finish high school online?
Yes.
Wow, the last year. Wow, nice.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Well, it allowed me to work almost a full-time job. I think I was working, 32, 33 hours a week in kitchen. So my hours were already messed up because of that. Like I was working during the day, so it wasn't like I could go to school like that anyway. Nor did I want to. I hated high school. For a lot of reasons. The biggest part was being forced to be somewhere at 7:30 in the morning that I wasn't making money to be at. And for online school, I'm my most productive in the middle of the night, so I could just stay up all night and do all of that then.
Yeah, the fact that that's an option now, wow.
Mm-hmm. And most people don't know about it either.
Yeah, it's first I'm hearing of it.
Check out your local e-learning program.
Okay.
Recommend it if you don't like school.
Well, there you go. This broadcast is not responsible. The show is not responsible for it.
Hey, public school
disclaimer, if someone goes to their parents and says, I'm going to drop out of going to high school and go online instead.
They still make you go in like so many hours a week to an actual building with instructors.
Okay.
But for the most part, you can do all of the classwork online, but they still have a designated amount of time you have to go in. It's not any easier. You can just do it quicker if you want to, or slower if you want to.
Okay, So at your pace.
Yeah.
All right, all right. Very cool, very cool. Okay, so then high school, and then so tell me about now. Which came first? Was it the yearning for producing? Was it the rapping? Was it the photography?
I am producer last. So it
Okay.
started when I was real like going through early school. I was wanted to be like a director. I was really into film,
Oh, okay.
really into film. That was like my biggest thing. And of course, I wanted to, be a rock star. I wanted to be a singer. Started learning some guitar and stuff. Played in a couple of school talent shows. Did horribly, of course. Sang in one of them. Played bass in the other one because bass was, I guess, close enough to guitar. It was bad. It was real bad. But and the photography stuff I didn't start until way later, but the rapping thing started because I was hanging out, getting puffed with the boys, and actually a rapper who I'm now kind of sort of reconnecting with online, who goes by Natural, just played a show at Substation. I went to middle school with him. He was a great guitar player. Came and hung out while we were chilling and freestyled in front of me. And dude could go. He just kept rhyming, and it was really, really awesome. And so after that, I'd be hanging out with a good friend of mine every day, and we would just start freestyling. We were bad. We were real bad. And he was way more into playing guitar and stuff anyway. Ended up actually being the bassist for my band for a while.
Really?
But I was a writer when I was young. I wrote poetry. I got published in like third grade. And so I really wanted to progress it more, start writing stuff, start actually recording. And so the job I started working when I was 17, everybody else there kind of rapped or wanted to rap at least. So we're at this small restaurant, all of us there start making music together. We're dark on Mondays, so we all just get together on Mondays because we all already have the day off, and we just start making music.
Wow. What was the name of your band?
Oh geez. So it started as Puke on a Cyclone, and then it was I Am You Are Me. And so we changed it to that because Puke on a Cyclone apparently doesn't sound that good.
Yeah, not making me want to listen.
Yeah. I Am You Are Me was cool. I saw it spray painted on a wall once, and I thought it was awesome. And then somebody came up and was like, "Oh, that's like one of my favorite Red Hot Chili Peppers songs." And we were like, "Oh no." Because not that I have anything against the Red Hot Chili Peppers, I actually really like them, but that's too close of an association. I went and heard the song, and there straight up is a song that the intro is just, "I am, you are, me, I am." I was like, nope.
Can't do that one.
So then we switched it up to Trip on a Route, and it was because none of us were focused on the name as much, but we needed something. So then when we disbanded, it was still Trip on a Route, and that's kind of what we went with, and it was a good time.
It sounds like quite the journey. So what inspires you when you're writing your raps or trying to come up with songs? What's your muse?
I was talking about it a little bit ago, and there's a lot of things. Obviously, hardships. Back when I was younger and I was trying to get into songwriting, I was always like, man, I just don't have anything to talk about because I've lived a pretty basic life. And then things happen, and now it's a lot easier to write about things that I have experience with. But a big one for me was, I was talking about it a little bit ago to Sage, who was, I've been here, Sage Prince, from just my opinion, to anybody who wants to check out that show. But stand-up comedy is a big one for me because I feel like it's kind of the closest to rapping without being music.
And wait, you do stand-up comedy? Or you
no,
like to
that's I get very inspired by watching stand-up comedy.
Okay. Oh, wow.
Because I feel like it's the same thing, but it's not music, But you're controlling the crowd in the same way. The writing style is very similar, the kind of, the punchlines, the way you're kind of tricking the listener and then catching them off guard and doing all that. It's the same way in writing, but then you just got to be rhythmic with it.
Right. Which I don't think is easy. Or is it one of those things where you either have it or you don't? Because
the rhythmic part is all practice. Nobody's good at it when they start, and that part is all practice. natural writing talent and having the talent to be able to songwrite and stuff, there is more of that does come from initial talent and just kind of having that. But being able to rap and just be rhythmic and do that, that can all be learned.
Well, hey, if you're just tuning in, this is Northwest Connection, your girl K-Cee Deeva here on RaynerAvenueRadio.world. My guest today is my producer, James Street. We're talking about his career growing up here in the Washington area and a little bit about rap. So let me ask you this: what makes a good rap song? You know, what in your mind makes a good rap song? So I turn on the radio, and for me, it's the music. It's all about the beat. I don't care what they're saying. If it's a lousy beat, I'm not gonna listen to it. Now, for a lot of people, it's just the opposite, right? Because it's about the message and so on. But if I'm in my car and I'm driving, usually the beat will catch me first.
I mean, for sure, I like a certain sound. I want a poppin' beat, but I'm a content person. I really and it can go either way with me because really it's about something that inspires emotion. And I was talking about this earlier too, that really it can be anything. So there's artists who really aren't lyricists, but when I hear what they're doing, it inspires such an emotion in me that I mean I want to listen to more. Shoot, that OG Mako song that got really popular, you guessed it. That song has nothing content wise. It was a freestyle he did drunkenly in the middle of the night over the most basic instrumental, and I love that song because it's just it hits you and you feel a certain way when you hear it, and so it can really go either way.
You know, I think it's the same with even a lot of just other music in general, right? Like when you said that with Ken Noir's interview I saw with Cisco from Drew Hill, when he broke off on his own, remember the thong song? He said a group of guys were hanging out, just kind of doing guy talk, chit-chatting, and somebody started a beat, and he said he never dreamed that song would take off. He said it was so silly and just kind of, So sometimes I think, maybe the songs that you aren't expecting to be hits end up kind of.
It's always the one you're not expecting.
Yeah,
always
it seems that way. It seems that way. Okay, so I have a question when it comes to raps. The beefs, are they real or fake? Is it a publicity stunt between the two rappers usually, or are these real beefs going on? So, for example, the most recent one that I paid attention to is Cardi B and Nicki Minaj.
That's the most recent one?
That's the most recent one that I just saw that was trending the other day because, Cardi B is upset because apparently Nicki Minaj said she was a bad mother on Twitter and saw it at a New York fashion event. And Cardi B threw a shoe at Nicki Minaj, and security escorted her out. And somehow Cardi B got this big knot on her head. And anyway, so I wonder if that's all publicity.
Now, first of all, yes, it almost always has some backing and publicity, but sometimes these people really do hate each other. Second of all, I do not consider Twitter beef to be rap beef because it's not in the music. They're not doing it through the music. This is just two public figures who are just not happy with each other, and they're making fools out of themselves for it. Rap beef is Nas, Jay-Z. It's, as of recent, Eminem and Machine Gun Kelly, and actual artists going at each other through music. That's what, to me, what rap beef would be, because it actually involves the craft of it.
Gotcha. Okay, good. Thanks for clarifying that. I've always wondered it because, as a PR person myself, I'm always wondering, like, okay, is this real or fake? Or, do they really hate each other that much? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about some of the other things that you do. Now, photography, that's a big passion of yours. And if you follow James on Facebook or Instagram, or, go to his pages when you can, your promos for your show, you have a really unique eye when it comes to photography. Was that self-taught, or were you trained, or talk a little bit about that?
It was self-taught. I mean, I was, as I said, when I was young, I was really into directing, and I always liked weirder stuff. And then I was in a relationship for a few years that, it's been a couple years since then, but, with a photographer who also liked weird stuff, and I had helped set up and direct a lot of shots, and noticed that not only for directing videos and things like that did I have a good eye, but really for photography as well. If I applied myself to it, I could do a lot. So from there, it was all just learning the ins and outs of the cameras, as well as learning Photoshop. And I picked up Photoshop remarkably quickly because I've always enjoyed that type of stuff. So it just, yeah.
And for those who are listening, may not be familiar with Photoshop, that's where you can like insert images and change things.
Or just do basic editing. You can just clear things up a little, make it look a little warmer, brighter, cooler, and or you can put yourself in a garage on the moon.
See, I think that's pretty cool. That's what I always liked about Photoshop, because you can do some really funny things with it. Put yourself wherever you would like to be, even if you aren't really there. Hey, this is Northwest Connection, K-Cee Deeva. My guest is James Street, and we're just chit-chatting about some of the other cool things that James is a part of. James, you do some teaching as well. Talk about that for the station, actually.
Well, yeah, I joined onto the CADMA program this year to do some teaching, and I had never really been involved in anything like that before, and it really just came down to, like, I have a passion for all these things we do, and we teach all these things to people, whether that be youth or the adult programs that we run here as well. And so, I just kind of got involved as an assistant instructor to help out, and ended up kind of running mostly the photography editing part and also digital music creation. But, I was a big help in a lot of it.
Okay. Well, that sounds cool. And people can go to our website to get information on that.
Yes, there is a tab for CADMA, and you can go and check that out.
Okay. Now let's talk about this fire dancing and twirling, because I think it's pretty cool. I've seen people do it, and you put a video of yourself and some other friends doing it as well. How did you get into that?
So years ago, I go to this big hippie festival every year, as I am also a hippie, and I hit this festival, and I got to kind of see it for the first time. I had seen it when I was really young, but then I saw just regular people doing it, and I got really interested. And like the next week, I was out on a camping trip and ended up picking up a stick that, was weighted kind of nicely, and started spinning it around. And after that, I ended up going and spinning it at other festivals and doing things like that, before inevitably buying a fire staff and just getting really into that. And so eventually I just, I was doing that all the time just for exercise. It's kind of meditative. It's nice.
So what's a fire stick? Is it like something that doesn't burn, that's
No, it's like Kevlar wicks, and you dip it in like camping fuel.
Okay.
So it's very reusable.
Okay, if you go to James Gerdy, Gerde, his page, you can see some video of that. It's on your Instagram as well, right?
Yes.
Okay, gosh, we just sat down, James. Now you're telling me you're cutting me off.
I know.
Your own interview.
And I'm at the end of this song, so.
Okay, yes. Okay. Thanks for joining me, James Street, today. Appreciate you as always. Now, we talked a lot about rap, because that's what you do, and you've got some debut music for us. I'm going to let you take it away.
All right, so this is We Back Part 2 with me and my homie Gypsy. If you out there listening, dog, I like the new song we did yesterday too, but this is the one that I gotta play. So it's a good one. There's a visual coming for it soon. You can stay tuned for that. Go like my page, James Street. I got more music dropping at 100 likes on there, so all sorts of things happening. But with that, here we go.
Gypsy, yeah. I know we've been through struggles, and we relieve my troubles. Feeling so enlightened, about third eye is seeing double. Looking for a home, you may as well just join a huddle. Music used to be original, but the flavor's been too muddled. Know we've been through struggle, we'd relieve my troubles, but I'm feeling so enlightened that my third eye is seeing double. If you're looking for a home, you may as well just join a huddle. Music used to be original, but the flavor's been too muddled. We've never been a man who always aimed to disappoint, but there's a lot of faceless strangers that I would care to avoid it. These people will truly listen if you choose to share their voice, and I know you can make a difference, but I've yet to make a choice. Wanted to hear you speak, but I'm definitely not the noise. Dropping you can't defeat, cause you can't fit into the void. People be keeping haters, some beefing you should avoid. Asphyxiation, something that I never keep with. Now we celebrating many views, soon to be scenic. Game is custom tailored, don't blame me, just hate the seamstress. No team that I strictly keep with, games unlocked, but all my keys fit. None less open, recognized by you, recognized to see it. It shows that you've been hiding all your demons and roots, never releasing. Only thing you showed us is how the to go from cold to freezing. Never consoled by any remotely better feelings. Well then let these letters heal it. I know we've been through struggles, smoke weed relieve my troubles. Feeling so enlightened, now my third eye is seeing double. Looking for a home, you may as well just join a huddle. Music used to be original, but the flavors too muddled. No, we've been through struggles, smoke weed relieve my troubles. But I'm feeling so enlightened, now my third eye is seeing double. If you're looking for a home, you may as well just join a huddle. Music used to be original, but the flavors been too muddled.
Try to breathe, real hard. You finally get balled up in the breathe. You gotta let go. And let it happen. Because if you don't, you're going to be all clutched up.
He said, well, how do you be happy? I said that you gotta manifest it, be on your best behavior. But don't forget that you're different. You can't just ask him to listen, you gotta give him a reason. You already know that you'll beat him. It's only a matter of sequence. So now, or maybe later, and it's up to you to see that. All the haters, it wasn't about such rats, but it's more about the pain. It's grace to take you close to relax. It's getting darker. I ain't about to sugarcoat it. The things we did when there was no way else to cope with. Mistakes we made, the things we done, how I behaved and lost the love and argued it was all my fault. I'm tearing up just thinking about that, but I'm back, so how about that? It'll be different this time, cause I'm working to save my life just like that. I'm tearing up just thinking about that, but I'm back, so how about that? It'll be different this time, cause I'm working to save my life just like that. To me, this distance is in isolation. I need some quiet space for me to live my best existence. You can see in my expression when it's tough to deal with, it's even hard to speak. That's why I'm staring at the pavement, hold my breath, I leave and headed home in a hurry, pushing away all my homies. And like I did, it's all
that's why I chose
you can see that I'm learning, I recognize my own. That's how I accept my life until I'm fine. I dance the
it's like
I'm falling daily basis, and I really rich and famous. I'm struggling with my name, and it's ridiculous to think that in fact, with all my that I can make it as an entertainer. I'm tearing up just thinking about that, but I'm back, so how about that? It'll be different this time, cause I'm working to save my life just like that. I'm tearing up just thinking about that, but I'm back, so how about that? It'll be different this time, cause I'm working to save my life just like that.
Yes, my boy James Street. This is Northwest Connection, your girl K-Cee Deeva. Thanks again for joining me, James. I had a wonderful time, and I love that song. I need a copy I can blast in the Diva Mobile. Hey, tune in next week. Same time, same place. Later, peeps.
You could have went a few seconds longer.
That's okay. I like to let it take it out. Yay! Awesome.
Check out Fresh Juice on Rainier Avenue Radio every Wednesday night, 9 to 11 p.m. as we bring you